Hello, everybody, and welcome to maybe the most special episode of the 60 podcast yet. I'm your host, Walker. This is
So
Jordan.
let's go.
Jordan, I'm going to start you off with a question.
Ooh,
Who's that coming down the track?
the 2021 champs in red and black.
Feels good.
It's a lot of relief. I'll say that. I'm just
Very
saying
true.
we start the pod and UJ wins a natty. Coincidence?
Maybe not. I actually have a story to tell you.
Please.
Well, maybe I'll tell it a little later, but it's another possible good luck charm. I don't know. During the game, sorry, I have a cough, by the way, so I'm going to cough throughout this entire pod, so I'm warning everyone's ears. Yeah, during the game, I made a switch at halftime, by the way. We were down 6-9. I did something that Jordan's going to enjoy, and then, kind of went our way.
I like it.
But very excited, guys. Our dogs are national champions for the first time in, 41 years? They said it a million times. I'm so excited. I never thought this would happen in my lifetime, to be honest. I thought we were always going to be so close and just never quite get there. I don't know. For a lot of you guys that know me, I've just been a Georgia fan my whole life. Even before I went to Georgia, I was born and raised a dog. Been watching football games with my dad for as long as I can remember. And I don't know, this was very, very special for me. Bittersweet too, especially after all the hardship we went through. So that's just my little sentimental spiel here that I got to go through. But means a lot to me. I was very, very happy.
A lot of relief. Just life just feels so much better now. That all that pressure on your shoulder. No more 1980 crap. Not have to hear about that.
I know. What are all the ops gonna do? Oh, sorry.
I don't know. That was like their go-to. Like now, what do you say now? I don't know.
Yeah, that was the thing. I mean, even though our teams, this Georgia team, at least for the past 4 or 5 years, was, superior to all of theirs, they could always come back to that one comment that said we hadn't won anything. So what do you got now? Because now we're better than you, and we've won more recently than you.
Punks. All right, let's just go straight.
Anyway, so where did you watch the game at? What was your experience like?
My experience. So I went to Athens. Nowhere I'd rather be. I went with the game with Clark Minor. Shout out Clark. As you know, Dan Huber. Shout out Dan. And then I found Connor Witcher, of all people. Yes, Connor Witcher. So I was watching the game at a new bar. I forgot what it's called. I don't remember, but it had a big TV outside. And then eventually it got cold. So I went back inside. Ben Crumby was also there. Shout out Ben Crumby. But yeah, just watching the game in there. I'm trying to think if I watched the whole first half outside and then I went inside. I think that's what might have happened. So you're welcome. Another finesse there. Get the second half with a lot better than the first half. So yeah, just watched the game there. Then we won, and then I went out on the streets. I didn't throw any cones or break any cars or porta potties.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw that video. I didn't
Did you see the guy
that.
from Barstool? Did you
Yeah,
interview with him?
I didn't see him. I didn't even know he was there. I think I delayed myself because it was like right when the game ended, the bars just like ended. Like everyone just like left. And I get that everyone just went outside right after that. I waited like 10, 20 minutes. I didn't even really think about it, but I waited and then I went out there.
You had to see Stetson. You had to see the Kirby and Stetson's little speech.
I don't know what I was doing, to be honest. I don't remember. But yeah, so yeah, then went out on the streets, got hype. Then I went back, didn't go to sleep until like 4 or 5 a.m. So
Was it
nowhere
because
else.
you couldn't sleep, or was it just because?
Oh, because I was just doing stuff. Um, so yeah, there was nowhere else I would rather be. It was my redemption story from 2017 because we were both in Athens for that. And I was
Correct.
after that Davin Bellamy sack, I won't lie. I was the process through my head was okay, if we win, if we win, I'm sprinting downtown, basically. And then that other thing happened. But it was my redemption story on that one. What about you? What was your experience?
Yeah, I didn't do anything too crazy. I ended up just going to my apartment rooftop. We have a big, cool space up there. I'm in Atlanta, by the way, for those who don't know. But yeah, just apartment rooftop on the city. There was a lot of people that turned up for it, actually.
Okay.
Um, I would say there was probably close to 50 people, and only one of them was a Bama fan. And I was like, why are you here? But regardless,
There's a
it was a good
there's,
environment to be in.
there was
It
a
was
Bama
very
fan that was in Athens watching the game, apparently. I don't know why you would
yeah,
ever
they
do
get
that.
trampled after the game, yeah.
No, he punched some kid in the face.
Oh geez.
Yeah. Yeah, apparently. I didn't see it.
Well, regardless. Well, this is the switch I was gonna tell you about.
Okay.
So at halftime, Corey actually goes downstairs to check on Todd, my dog, for those who don't know. And she said he was looking a little lonely. So we have a for Todd, like a Georgia jersey. Corey stuck the UGA jersey on him, brought him up to the roof, and he was with us the rest of the game.
Let's go, Todd.
And it started going our way. During the Keely Ringo pick six, Todd was in my hand, and I may or may not have shook him around like a rag dog. I don't know, but I was holding him, and I was also jumping and screaming at the same time. So
Let's go. Todd
that
is the
being
key.
said, Todd was the reason.
Yes. And if you're on the
I was
U,
also wearing my UGA socks, which I only pull out for big games.
oh, there you go. I was wearing my Aziz jersey.
Nice.
Let's go. It's just it.
Friend of the
I
pod.
think it's officially a Stetson Bennett jersey from like now on because some people asked me that before. They're like, "Oh, Stetson Bennett." I'm like, "No, it's Aziz. It can be Stetson Bennett now. That's fine. Like let sorry Aziz, but it can be both. I think
But
Aziz
yeah,
can understand.
I mean, I think kind of going back to what we said last week. I mean, the two best teams were definitely. I think it just kind of reiterated itself to everyone that the two best teams were in the championship.
Agree.
Like I said, say what you want about the SEC bias. There's a bunch of whiners out there, but the two best teams were definitely in it.
And I
I
think
don't
it's
care
not
what you
much.
say.
I think it's all like by far the best two teams. It wasn't like it was like,
Yes,
the Michigan, they lost a close one. Who knows what they could
exactly.
have done? They were
It was
they
like
were in that
there
first
were
tier. Nah, it
yeah,
was Georgia and Bama and everyone else, to be honest.
exactly. We were in our own tier, or us and Bama were in just like the highest tier, and then everyone else was they're just not. You're either a leader, you're not.
Exactly.
So it was us or anyone. So it was fitting that, I guess, even though it was a rematch, that we still met there because that's what the national championship should be, the two best teams. And honestly, it was tight until the fourth quarter. So it took all the way until the end for one of us to pull away.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, like I'm really trying to put my bias aside, but we've been saying it all year that Georgia's the best team in college football. And I still think that's true. You
Mm-hmm.
can say what you want about the Bama wide receiver injuries and whatnot.
Okay, can I say something about that? About all the
Yeah.
Bama fans that are whining about that. So does Nick Saban's first national championship at Alabama doesn't count because Colt
Yeah.
McCoy got hurt?
Colt McCoy
Okay.
broke his collarbone or something or
Yeah.
shoulder in the first series and doesn't play the whole game.
Yeah, so I guess that one doesn't count. I guess
No, it definitely
I
counts.
think all of them don't count because there's injuries like in every
Yes.
game. So no wins count by anyone.
Yeah.
Doesn't count. So yeah, game is definitely far more important than us. All the Bama fans, I was watching Fine Ball Math like the next day, and they were like, We still got 7 championships. Well, that's why it was more important for us.
Exactly.
Like,
They got plenty.
not to mention, they're probably going to win it next year. They're going to be stacked next year. So,
Oh, yeah. See, that's the other thing is this Bama team is super young. And honestly, they have the best offensive player and the best defensive player in the country. And they're both sophomores, right?
Yep. Correct.
So that's just nuts.
Yeah.
So
they'll be okay. They'll be okay. Let us have our one and then stop trying to reign our.
Give those young receivers too coming in for them. And that's the other thing. Okay. Here's the other thing. Also supporting the argument. You know, they're saying like, oh, whatever. Our 2 receivers are out and we had to play a bunch of freshmen. I was like, hey, guess who scored 3 of our 4 touchdowns? Freshmen.
And all of them.
I don't want to hear it. Yeah.
So.
Because Keely, who else scored? A.D. Mitchell and Brock, all freshmen.
Yep. Exactly. Well, speaking of good luck charm, I want to say this before we can start breaking down and going more into each part of the game. This hat, if you're watching on YouTube, I'm wearing the lucky hat. Shout out JT. He bought this hat for $40 before the year. Everyone called him out. Why would you buy this hat for $40? Well, it's undefeated. Every single time it's worn, we have won, aka this season. It was not worn against Alabama the first time. That was the reason we lost. Then it got redeemed. And undefeated. This hat's going to the College Football Hall of Fame. We're sending it in. You're welcome. Again.
I was going to say, in order to keep the lucky streak alive, though, it's like you have to break it out when you need it. You know what I mean? I feel like at this point, you don't just wear it to every Georgia game or David.
No, it's retired now.
Oh, it's retired?
Oh, it's retired. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, we're retiring it. That's why we're sending it to the Hall of Fame.
If we're in the Natty again, I feel like you might need to whip it out.
Yeah, I agree. You might have to save it for very special occasions.
Yeah. It's funny you say something like that. I was like, I don't know. I have mentally remembered in my head exactly what I was wearing. And I was like, hey, that sweatshirt. That's what I was wearing. I'm going to remember that. And my socks.
There we go. All right. Well, let's get into the game. Well, the first quarter wasn't too exciting. I think it was just 3-0 after the first quarter. I'll say this. We did look nervous. Yeah, going in, or at least the offense did. The defense did.
I was going to say Stetson looked, he was I mean, we got sacked on the first play of the game, or our first.
Which was a terrible play call, by the way.
Yeah, I don't even know what that was. A play action, and then they just blitzed us like crazy.
Yeah. Stetson having his little scramble, then he just dropped the ball. Luckily, it bounced right to him. There were the few penalties. We had a million penalties. What it felt like. Didn't really. I felt like we were passing it a little too much. Like we weren't really getting the run game going with Zeus and James Cook. I don't know.
Penalties were crazy throughout the whole game. It was just sloppy. Like, I don't want to say it was, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to complain and say it was unfair, like one-sided, but like, I mean, we were just making a ton of mistakes and it was just stupid stuff.
Yeah. And then there would be those calls that were like, the fair catch interference was terrible on us. We didn't even touch the guy. Oh, it was terrible. Luckily it didn't matter. They just went 3 and out, but like, come on. Oh yeah. The incomplete pass that we thought was a fumble that ended up being a touchdown. In the second quarter, I thought, please don't let this be the only thing I cheered about. I was scared about that, but I did think when that happens and, they called it incomplete, whatever. I thought, at least we got to him. That was something we did. That's something we discussed on the pod. We got to get the Bryce Young. That's
something we did well all game, by the way. I thought we were getting pressure on him. Whether or not we get to him, like we were making him shake or something or throw something in the dirt or chuck it out of bounds. He was making good decisions the whole game, by the way. Yeah. I mean, other than the pick was bad, but the Keely Ringo pick was bad, but also it's like he was kind of
bad too.
Yeah, he was trying to make some magic, so you can't really blame him for that one.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, we were getting to him full time. That's why, like, I mean, obviously Jameson Williams would have made a huge difference, but like it's not like we were getting cooked and then all of a sudden it's like right when he was out, they couldn't do nothing. We were still stopping him and everything.
Yeah, I mean, he had that one catch on the play where he went down, right? Where he was just wide open. I don't even understand how that happened, by the way.
I don't know either.
Like, how do you have no one within 15 yards of like their
Just
best
blew
weapon?
out, I guess. I don't know. Second quarter. I don't even remember the second quarter. Oh, I want to say this about the second quarter. What was there, like 2 minutes left or something like that? And we were running the ball ready to get to halftime.
Yeah.
The
We were
second half was just like everything where you're just like, oh geez, like it was just you were like defense is doing what they're doing, but like offense and everything.
Right.
I don't remember this too much, but maybe you'll know. How big was the JT Daniels coming at halftime crowd? Was there any that you know of, or
I mean,
I didn't hear anything about that.
no,
I didn't even really think about it. It didn't even
I
cross
wasn't
my
really
mind.
on Twitter. I wasn't really on Twitter or anything during halftime. Like I said, I kind of like,
I wasn't either.
yeah, I went to the bathroom and stuff. That
But
was
I
a
was
long halftime, by
I'm
the way.
curious if there was like a put JT in.
I heard there was a poll that was like keep Stetson or put JT in, and it was like 75% JT, but I don't know who did the poll.
I didn't even really it didn't even come through my mind like once that JT should come in or anything.
No, he hadn't played in so long. I mean, I don't know if that alone, he just like he hasn't played in a game or
Yeah.
had meaningful reps at least.
And we
Like
said this
Clemson.
last week too. Stetson would have had to throw in like 2 picks or something like that. And like
I agree.
he would have had to been pretty garbage. Like he wasn't great in the first half, but he wasn't killing us. Like he wasn't losing us the game. He said that after the game. He's like, I'm not gonna lose us this game. He wasn't losing us the game, honestly.
That play was awful, by the way. If we're fast forwarding a little bit, actually, I want to just sum up the second or the
Oh
first half.
yeah, that's what I was gonna talk about next.
Well, the end of the first half, you know, the fight, whatever, the score was 6-9. And I was like, I think the announcers kind of said it. I remember them talking about it. They were like, sorry. My bad. They were like, both teams are just feeling each other out. Like we didn't let loose. Like either team wasn't like chucking it.
Yeah.
Until the second half. Like they were like, we're just trying to feel each other out. And I remember everyone was like, everyone we were watching with upstairs at the roof was, I don't know, they were freaking out almost because they were like, yeah, Alabama looks like they're in complete control of the game, which I would kind of agree with it after the first half. But I was like, guys, it's a 3-point game right now, you know?
It was
I was
our
like,
kind of game. We wanted low scoring.
Exactly. And I was like, and we get the ball back at half. I was like, we're right where we want them right now. Even though it looks like they were in control. And props to the defense. I mean, I think like, I don't know, in my recollection of the game,
we're getting a caller. We're getting a caller.
From?
Hello?
I have a call in question for the pod.
Yes.
Ask away.
Remember when we won the Natty?
Funny enough, we're talking about that right now.
Why don't you just join in?
That was so cool.
Do you want to join in and give us your experience?
Yeah, you were at the game. You gotta give us your whole rundown perspective.
Oh, it's coming. Don't worry.
Are you ready to like discuss?
We're recording right now. Yeah.
I'll be up soon.
Wait, don't you just want to do it through your phone, or are you gonna be like?
No. It needs to be his face. The audio.
No, I meant like go through Zoom from his phone. Or are you just gonna?
I'll just pop in.
It would be a lot easier to just walk upstairs.
Yeah. All right. Well. Okay. Bye. I want to bring this up too. The George Pickens 1 catch a game. Amazing catch. By the way. His signature dive. I love that.
I want to say one thing before we talk more about that. Oh, God, sorry. I've had this cough for like literally 2 weeks. I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't think it's the vid. Anyway, I was gonna say our defense. Wow. I mean, like I felt like Alabama was kind of chopping us up the field, you know, like they were just getting 6-7 yards of play, like they were just going. And then they got into the red zone ish, if you count from like the 30, I'm going to say the 30 in, and our defense just like, we locked them up.
It was
and
kind
held
of our
them.
classic bend don't break that we do.
Oh, for sure. I was going to say, like, in other games, like they would have put those in. I mean, those stands were so huge in us winning that game.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm so proud of our guys.
And
like,
I think I told somebody this, but I feel like it feels like first touchdown's gonna win this.
Yeah,
Who scored the first touchdown?
we did.
But yeah, so we had the blocked field goal. The blocked field goal was huge by Jalen Carter, and then it felt like that run by James Cook, that like 70-yard run, kind of broke things open.
For sure.
And kind of in the game in general. And especially for UGA, because then it felt like kind of like after that we were getting the run game going a little bit and all that, and Zeus ended up punching it in. But then we're going to talk about this. That terrible fumble call.
Oh God.
Tell me just the reaction, what your thoughts about that play, and just kind of the reaction. What was your kind of like feeling at that point, and like I guess anybody around you?
If you want my complete honest opinion, my exact words were, that's game. Because I thought we handed them the ball at the 15-yard line after we'd been good, like all game, you know what I mean? And I'm like, we are going to give them a touchdown, or the refs are going to give them a touchdown in a game that like has no touchdowns. You know what I mean? I was like, we can't do it. I don't know. I was just like, that's it. Because we hadn't really shown anything, I feel like, up until that point. I think, did we score before that?
Yeah, we were up 13-9 at that point, or at 13-12 or something like that at that point.
Yeah, I definitely remember being pessimistic. I was like, those kind of calls just can't happen. And then they did go and score, right? Yeah, right. They scored. That was when they hit that tight end, who, by the way, tight end just like shoved our dude to the ground.
Yeah, I know.
And had a no call on that one, but it is what it is.
I don't think they would have called that, but yeah, my reaction, that was like the only time I got like pissed. Like I had to hit a table. I like hit a table. I was like, fuck. I'm like, right when they called that, because I was saying the whole time, like, no way they call that fumble, and no way the guy even did the idiot or the guy on Bama, just the dummy just grabbed. He just kind of the ball just kind of bounced in his arms. He was just going after like it was an incomplete pass.
No, that's what I was telling the people upstairs. Is I was like, he didn't even think it was a fumble.
No.
Like he was just like going through the motions, he was kind of jogging it off, and he was catching it just because, like, he's a ball player. Like, it's just like it landed in his arm, so he's gonna catch it.
Yeah.
I was like, it's just so lucky almost. And it was like the combination of he shouldn't have caught it because he wasn't even trying to, kind of. And then, like, was it even a fumble? Just the mix between both of those two things. I was like, this is ridiculous.
It was the most classic Alabama play.
Oh, 100%.
Most classic play. And you could just, like, we all were thinking the same thing at that point. We're thinking it's going to happen again where it's going to be the Tyler Simmons offsides 2.0. You're thinking, I mean, there's probably other calls that nobody's going to remember that I'm going to complain about other games. I'm not going to do it because you won't remember. But it was basically Tyler Simmons onside 2.0. Like, you just knew, or you just thought, like, this is where it all starts going.
I was going to say, I get it.
They were showing all the UGA fans during the review and like after a few, and you could just tell they were all thinking the same damn thing. Like, here we go.
Yeah, I mean, not saying it was exactly the same, but there was a similar play, very similar, earlier in the game, which they called an incomplete pass for a touchdown. And I was like,
the irony.
Come on.
Yeah, the irony of it.
I'm not saying it was exactly the same. Bryson's hand was definitely, I know his hand was moving forward, but so was Stetson's. Even if the ball kind of, it rolled.
No, that's what I'm saying, like Stetson.
I'm just saying it was a similar play is all I'm saying. And I just feel like, I don't know.
Terrible. Just terrible. We just all, and we all just had that thing. We all just had that same feeling, like, really.
Like I said, it literally, it gave them a touchdown. So
100%. 100%. It was terrible. And I was ready to kill someone. And I just can't believe they called that still gives me a headache just thinking about it. Like
Water under the
I
bridge.
seriously couldn't believe they did it, but
No.
I should have.
I mean, if we lost, we'd be talking about it for years, but because we won, I'm kind of like, I don't care anymore.
Yeah. Mine was even through that terrible call and through Bama. We still got
We won despite terrible calls. We won despite 10 penalties or something. I don't know. It was.
But yeah, but then the next drive, literally the next drive, Stetson balls. He was like 3 for 3 on. He threw what, the one to Burden. Then they got the pass interference. The dude literally tackled Burden. Remember that he did the little double.
I mean, I don't want to say that was dirty or anything. I think it was smart. Like,
oh no, I think it was too.
Burden was going for 6, so it was like he was smiling after, or he was like laughing, or the guy who tackled him. He's like, "What else am I supposed to do?"
No, that's a smart play to do.
Getting cooked.
I'd rather give up 15 yards than a touchdown. So no, that's what they always teach you. If you're gonna get cooked,
wipe his ankles.
Yeah, get a PI. Then the Kenny McIntosh catch was a nice catch. But
that was crazy. I thought he was gonna drop it too.
I thought he was too. And then it was a sack. And you're just thinking, well, there's the drive killer. We were probably what, like at the 40 maybe at that point, maybe something like that. And then Stetson just chucks this to AD Mitchell, who I called out in the last pod. I said, hey, he'll be a good player, but George needs to play more. Moss is that fool. Touchdown. It was awesome.
That was great. Honestly, I was talking to someone else about this, but I was like, I mean, if Ringo didn't have obviously that pick 6 to seal the game away, the AD Mitchell catch, would be the one that just like everyone's talking about.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's gonna be one of those like underrated plays in Georgia.
Exactly. That was like, it was legendary. It was almost like it was legendary, but one was just like a tiny step higher, and it's the one everyone's gonna remember.
Yeah. Yeah. So
it's almost like the Julio catch in the Super Bowl that no one's ever going to remember because the Falcons lost. So but it was fantastic. So then they're just going to remember the Edelman catch because the Patriots won. So
yep, 100%. So what happened? We got the ball back, and then it was the Brock Bowers touchdown.
Ooh. Which I was kind of like,
I feel like Brock didn't really do much. I
was telling my dad that actually. I was like, why didn't we involve him more?
I think Bama was just putting all their focus on him.
By the way, if you go back and watch that play, this was a point. My dad actually pointed this out, who's obviously a Tennessee and a Bama hater, but the what's his name? To'o.
Oh yeah.
The transfer.
Mm-hmm.
He got cooked by Brock on that play. He was the one covering Brock, and he was just 2 steps too slow. Brock ran right by him, right into the end zone.
Oh yeah.
I can't hear them. David, there's no music on my screen.
We won the Natty.
Is that a Snuggie?
Yes.
I want that.
I'm snug as hell right now because we're cheap.
Okay, well, we're going to backtrack a little bit because we already talked about mine and Jordan's individual experiences at the Natty, but we now have someone who was at the game. So I want you to tell me everything, the lead up, the game itself, the celebration.
Go all the way towards the Brock Bowers touchdown because that's where we stopped.
No, well, not just the game itself. I mean, like
just everything.
Like just being an Indy, being in the crowd, and then obviously, I mean, we got to hear the post celebration story. Whatever you got, just let it rip.
I'll do this.
Oh, Pom! Breaking news into the 6-0 podcast: redshirt freshman Justin Robinson in the portal. Oh well, he was a drop machine.
I gotta snug my snuggie on. Okay. So here's my experience.
I had the ultimate sports weekend. Saturday, Duke basketball, Miami, their biggest game in weeks. L, upset at home. I'm thinking, okay, get that out of the way. Fine. If that's the one L of the weekend, we'll take it. We'll just move on. We got the Chargers against the arch rivals, the Raiders, on Sunday Night Football for a playoff spot. This one means more. Give me this one. I'm in an indie bar with guest of the podcast, Trey Farrow. And we're watching this game. All the Georgia fans supporting me. I'm telling them I got a Georgia fan too, Georgia jersey too. They're all like, I like Justin Herbert. I went down 15. I say, Herbert, you got to put the team on your back. What does he do? Greatest game I've ever seen from a quarterback. We'll end it there. But I'm thinking, if I go 0-3 this weekend, worst weekend of my life, you have to say. So all the pressure is on the national championship. So what do? I get hammered. I went hard before the pregame. It was too cold, so you couldn't do anything outside. So what I did, stay in the bars, drink, warm up, went in about 5 o'clock. Lucas Oil Stadium, that stadium is basically a mall. It's a mall with a field in the middle. Got a bunch of shops, gigantic, food everywhere, tables everywhere. So I was chilling in the stadium for like 2 hours, drinking brewskis, only thinking about the national championship, Alabama, Georgia. And I had no confidence whatsoever, except for this hat. This hat was the only thing keeping me alive.
Mm-hmm. David was repping the hat.
But we're walking around the stadium. I walk in, I think, damn, this stadium's gigantic. This is where Georgia can win the national championship. And right as you walk in, College Game Day going to the left, SEC Nation to the right. You got Tebow, Roman Harper, David Pollock, Desmond Howard. So I'm seeing all these legends. I'm thinking it's got to be tonight. But I'm expecting heartbreak. So I get more hammered. And wait, I go to my seats, fabulous seats, can't hate. My section, diverse, old kids, old farts, middle-aged. It was going to be an experience. Pre-game, lit. The hype videos, they had this one hype video that was like 5 minutes long for the whole season. I was like, that was the most hype thing I've ever seen. The game starts. It's loud. 80% Georgia fans. I'm not going to lie. There was only one moment Alabama was very loud, and it was after the fumble. They did a whole Roll Tide chant. That was the only time it was really loud in there. The other times it was all UGA, at least crowd-wise. But in the first quarter, you could feel the nerves. I've never been more nervous in my life. Finals exams, SATs, Lambert football games. Never been more nervous than sitting in a crowd watching a football game right there. I was doing the same for the Lambert football games, if it matters anyways. But I'm feeling nervous. You could feel in the crowd, everybody's nervous. We're basically like silent. Nobody was really talking. And those offensive drives, you could feel the nerves. And then when the defense started settling in, I had to be our sweater guy. I had to hype up the crowd because it was like our section, it was like you could tell everyone wanted to get loud, but they weren't ready to get loud. I was just the one, I gave you no option. You were getting your teeth kicked out if you didn't get loud. I was like, stand up. It's the national championship. Let's go. We have to be loud. And the crowd, fabulous. I won't lie. So field goals back and forth. We'll just skip to the second half. Let's see. What should I just get to the fumble? The first fumble. I'm not gonna lie, I knew they were overturning that, but just because of the game. And they were getting every 50-50 call. And I was just thinking, I don't know how this is close. Because if it were Alabama and every other Alabama getting the calls like that, I didn't know how we were keeping it close. We looked so nervous, but the defense kept us in it. Right when we calmed down, the offense settled in. Our O-line, you could tell, was dominating, and the crowd started getting into it. You could feel the momentum. But that fumble that Alabama got, the terrible call, you could feel it in the stadium. Everybody's like hearts dropped. Like I thought it was over. Everybody was like classic Alabama, that's going to be the play everyone remember. They got the big call, like the Tyler Simmons offsides. That was it right there. That'll undo us. And after how the first quarter went, where you could feel the team feeling the exact same way as the crowd, I was worried the team was going to feel the exact same way because there were like 50,000 people in the stands feeling that way and thinking this is the end. But no, we were covered. And that Stetson drive, I remember thinking when we were up 1, we just do one long drive. If we can get it done, run to the 50-yard line, I'll feel good. Exactly what we did. And I said, damn, we got a chance here. I feel that's exactly what I wanted. Beautiful drive, 80 touchdown. And the Keeley pick. Oh, what are we on? The Bowers touchdown?
We're on the Bowers touchdown right
We're
now.
at Bowers.
Then I'll wait there.
Okay. I was gonna say this about the Bowers touchdown. I was saying go for 2. Make it a 9-point game. You know, if you miss it, it's still a 7-point game. That's the analytics talking there. I don't know what you guys.
I suggested that in the crowd, and the crowd was not feeling it. They were like, hell no. I was like, damn, they're roasting Jordan.
Me?
Yes, because I only said it because you said it. I saw it. I was like, guys, what do you think about going for 2 here? And everybody was like, no. And I was like, damn, Jordan getting roasted.
I definitely agree. I think go for 1, make it an 8-point game all day.
Yeah, they're pussies. Turn on the lights.
No, because then if you make it a 7-point game, they could get 8 and then be in the lead. At least if you make it 8, they have to get the 2-point to even tie, which is I don't know.
I just didn't want to keep in a 1-possession game because you knew it was going to come down to that. If we were going to win a natty, what are you doing? Close the door. What are you doing?
I'm pretty sure.
You know what was funny is I don't want to fast forward too much, but I was as a big Georgia fan, I was literally thinking after the Keeley pick 6 and everyone was flipping out, I was kind of like, are they gonna like throw a Hail Mary, get the onside, and then throw another Hail Mary?
That was in the back of my head. I won't lie.
That was not at all in the back of my head. I won't lie.
Like,
no, it was in the back of my head. I was like, if anyone's gonna do it, Bama's gonna do it.
Okay, so we're getting
no, we're not there yet. Well, anyways, you knew it was gonna come down the last possession and everything, and it'd be against Bama. But after that, like I think they got like 2 first downs, maybe, and then they got
a 3rd and 4, which I was like, damn, they got like 20 yards on a 3rd and 4. Before the Keeley pick, are we talking about?
Yeah, we're talking about the final drive.
Yeah, that final drive before the Keeley pick. I'm not gonna lie, I was thinking go for 2 because I was like, just because I was like, let's end it here. But then I was also like, well, we'd be the ones to not get it, and then they'd go for 2 to beat us. So that was also my logic. So I was like, I'm cool with playing it safe. But when we were up 8, there was no doubt in my mind. I thought they were scoring. I was like, classic, this is going into OT. That was just my assumption at that point.
Same.
Yeah. So they get a few first downs. I'm like, oh God. I got my hands on my head. I'm punching witch. I'm pissed. And I'm just like, good Lord. And then I think they threw it up twice, and I think one was good coverage by Chris Smith, who had a really good game, by the way. And Lewis Cine was excellent, by the way.
He was.
But he broke it up, and I think the next pass, I don't know what Brooks was doing on the Bama receiver. He tried catching with one hand, even though it was a pretty good throw by Bryce Young. I mean, he could have caught that and got down. I know that's why it was a dime ski from Bryce Young, and it was like
can we rewind just a little bit?
Yes,
it's probably a different drive, but I do want to talk about. I'll give them a little credit. There were definitely a couple throws like in the red zone, even in the end zone, where Bryce Young like dropped one right into someone's hands and like they dropped it, or
the guy slipped in the end zone was so big.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't know. I just wanted to give him some props there. I was like, that wasn't on him.
No.
I mean, he put it right where it was supposed to be. So
we got to him. We had like 40 pressures.
Oh yeah.
4 sacks.
He was running for his life the whole game.
But anyways, so then he threw it up. Then Keeley caught him. I'm like, oh shit. And then I was telling him, go down.
So was Kirby.
Yeah, Kirby was too, but like everybody was freaking out like so much and just jumping around. I was jumping
I
around.
heard a bunch of people didn't see him run it in because they were just
Yeah.
like, we won.
I was still
Funny you
watching
say
it.
that.
I was still watching, but like everyone was jumping around, freaking out, and I was too, obviously. I was like, oh my god.
I was texting Jordan earlier today, and I said, I don't think it's in question. That's the best play in Georgia history.
I
right?
said that when I got home yesterday to Jordan.
That play, everyone's talking about, they were like, when they saw Stetson, they cried or they teared up. I was like, when Keely got that pick, like that exact second, I was bullfrogging a little bit. I was like, oh my God, we did it.
I was close. I didn't do it, but with that being said, if I was at the game, I'd be balling.
I kept saying I kept thinking I was gonna cry, and like I said, I never like cried, but I was emotional when Keely got the pick. I was like, oh my God, like that's it.
Keely was kind
Even
of
though in the back of my mind I was thinking I told you I was thinking I was like, it would really be some Bama magic right now to throw some sort of Hail Mary, get the onside, and then hit us with another one to win the game. Because I don't know, but even though I was like after the Keely pick, I was like, we got like a 98% chance to win this game, 99. So I was like, I think I can celebrate.
Yeah, but. And what was I gonna say? Keely was getting picked on a little bit the whole game, and he made the play.
Yeah, I agree.
And so he ran it in, and everyone's freaking out. Beer going up everywhere. Everyone's freaking out. I'm punching Witch still.
Yeah, I'm like, wait until that clock hits 0, please.
Yeah, and then kind of like right after that, when Bama got the ball back, I'm like, okay, they still have like 3 timeouts. Let's stop them here. And I think we got a sack. I think Robert Beal got a sack, and then
you got 2 sacks on the last 2 plays, right?
Yeah. Robert Beal got sacked like on the first or second play of the drive, and it was kind of like after that Beal sack, I was like, okay, let's go.
I muted myself. Sorry, I was gonna say Robert Beal was in a lot, by the way.
Well,
he has been since Anderson got.
Yeah, after the Adam Anderson situation. By the way, is he gonna get a ring? I don't know how that's gonna go because he hasn't technically been found not guilty. I'm just saying, like, how's that gonna work?
He might get one of those like janitor rings.
Maybe.
You know, like when teams win the Super Bowl, they give out like the good rings with all the diamonds to the players, and then they like give the staff and like stuff. They give them like the B ring, basically.
Yeah.
You might get one of those.
Yeah, maybe. So, David, you can say the reaction in the stadium on the Keely pick.
Well, I'll go all the way back to the Bowers touchdown. Great call, by the way, because I was thinking run it, no doubt. We were killing them at that point, and I was just thinking our defense just needs to keep doing what our defense needs to do, because that drive, our offensive line was just killing them. Their defense was gassed.
I want to interrupt for 1 second. Just going off that one play where like I don't know who was running the ball. Maybe it was Zeus or I don't know. But like our whole offensive line just like pushed the pile.
Yeah, that was Zeus.
And then who was that? That was Schaefer that jumped over the top or something. And I was so fired up after that play.
I was too.
I was like, that's like I literally turned to everyone and I was like, that is pure passion. That's fire. That's heart.
Yeah, that's when I was like,
we got it. We got the juice right now.
Well, right before that drive, I was saying we needed to do exactly that. When we had that one play, I was like, damn, we showed up in the fourth. Like we were still playing our game at that point. We didn't switch up.
Right.
And so that Bowers touchdown, beautiful. Cause I was saying run it, no doubt. I was like, kill more, as much clock as you can, but beautiful call, wide open. And then everybody was like, oh no, classic Georgia fans were like, oh no, flag. And I was like, you see Stetson, he's going like this. It's on them. I was like, trust Stetson. And he was right. And then, so then go to the Keely. So when they started that drive, I was at the 20-yard line. That was where my seats were. So exactly then. And I was telling everybody, we have to win the Natty here. This is on our section. We have to be loud. We can change the game here. And everybody was like, it's time. It's time. And that was the loudest I've ever heard a stadium in my entire life. Those first couple of plays. But then when they got that 3rd and 4 conversion, quieted a little bit. The nerves were coming in again. And I was like, even after that, though, I was like, we've been bend, don't break all game. The only touchdown was the BS fumble in the first place. I was like, just keep them out of the end zone. I'll get nervous if they get to the red zone. That was kind of my logic. I was like, if they get to like the 30, I'll start getting nervous. And there you had it, throw up. And right when it was like the Chris Smith one, because right when it was thrown, I was like, he's there. And I knew he was going to catch it. I was like, let's go. The Keeley one, I was just waiting for him to catch it to freak out because I was like, that's got to be a pick as long as you just don't drop it. And right when he caught it, I just went ballistic. I didn't even see the return whatsoever. I literally turned around, was hugging everybody, flipping out, throwing my beer, going crazy. I had no clue he was returning it back. And the guy behind me was like, you're missing the whole thing. He's returning it. And I was like, I don't effing care. We won the natty. And I was flipping out because I knew we were winning at that point because I saw what the O-line was doing to the D-line. I knew we were getting a first down if we were getting the ball back. That's what I was telling everybody. I was like, I don't care. They have 3 timeouts. Our O-line's killing their D-line. We need 10 yards. We're getting 6 yards every single time. So right when that happened, I knew it was over, and I knew we couldn't have choked at that point because I was like, we weren't playing like we were going to choke.
Yeah, I've seen the Keeley play at least 40 times by now.
I think I've watched it 150 at this point.
Yeah, I'm watching it like back to back, and every time it just gets better. I was telling Jordan, I was like, that play is going to be almost like, they have the Herschel Walker trucking Bill Bates.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
this is going to be on the pregame highlight reel literally forever.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the craziest part is our last 3 touchdowns: Keeley, Bowers, AD, all freshmen.
Yep, I actually brought that up because I was saying that there were the Gumps complaining about their players being injured and having all freshmen in, and I was like, well, guess what? 3 of our touchdowns were freshmen.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But before we go to the post-game celebration, I do want to just talk about the Keeley play again. One of my favorite parts that not a lot of people are talking about was the convoy of players running out.
Dan Jackson getting crushed.
I love it.
He got blown up.
No, it's fantastic.
And then he popped right back up. It was awesome.
And
Dan Jackson.
Chris Smith running down the way too. He was like the leader. He like took off way in front of Keeley, and he was the ringleader of that return. I don't know. It's just fantastic. That's a team effort.
Yeah,
I loved it.
Then they showed Stetson, and Stetson couldn't even hold it in. He was crying. Which, by the way, it's the weirdest picture of all time seeing Stetson Bennett with the trophy.
Oh, it's awesome.
I see it every single time.
There were a bunch of jokes about that on Twitter. They were like, if someone showed you this picture, like even last year, but like 3-4 years ago, of Stetson Bennett holding the trophy, it's like, what would you even think?
I don't know. It's so weird.
Shout out Andy Liu. I'm just thinking, right when Andy Liu started being obsessed with Stetson, imagine if he would have won a natty. You would have told me 3 years after that he won a natty, because Stetson, he was obsessed with Stetson on the first go around at UGA.
I don't know. It's so
That's
weird.
a little hard to believe.
No, it's true. He was on the Stetson train before it was cool.
He was. I bought him a Stetson jersey for his
like number 22
21st birthday.
He was on the Stetson train like.
No, I'm saying like Stetson before he was number 13. Like he wore 22. I thought.
Yeah, he was on the Stetson train like 2017.
I got him a Stetson jersey with the Rose Bowl patch, the 2017 Rose Bowl patch. So that's how you know.
Okay.
No, he was on it before it was cool. So that was
okay.
Cool.
Well, I think we're done with the game now. Game's over. Post-game celebration.
Well, one thing I got to mention, right at the last play, I have a great video, and that'll be one of my classic moments, like right when it goes to 0, because everybody was counting down, which one of that first ever football games where they've counted down the clock, which was cool. The crowd was counting it down. And Nolan, I zoom into the scoreboard right when Nolan does that.
Yeah, Nolan.
And then I show the field, and I was like, oh my God. The Nolan that, you gotta love it.
Right.
Yeah. No, it got crazy.
Yeah, I didn't watch the last minute and a half. That was the only play I saw probably after the pick, because I was just celebrating too hard.
I think we got 2 sacks on their last drive. It might have been back to back, but I think we got 2 sacks on their final effort.
Oh, and I forgot to mention, yes, I was a crying mess. I'll admit it. But I'm proud to say everybody in our section was too.
Good.
You know,
I just looked around the stadium, like right when we were winning and the play was going on. I just remember looking around at the whole crowd and I was like, damn, it's happening.
What was post game like in Indy? Because I kind of I told you I was up at my rooftop. I hit the elevator and I just like went back down to my.
I have a funny perspective of that. So basically, I was in the stadium for maybe another hour and a half, probably until like 1 a.m. ish. Yeah, 1:30 in the stadium because we were just chilling. Everybody was taking pictures, and we had a huge group, my whole family. So we all met up, and then, the whole trophy celebration and all that. And where we met up ended up being by this elevator, which ended up being the elevator that was to the celebration suite, the victory party. So all these players were coming up. At one point, Aaron Murray came up, and I missed him, but he walked that way. So at one point, I see my little Tay Crowder walking by. So I'm like, Tay, go Dogs. And he's like, give me go Dogs. And my mom's friend, Amanda, goes running over there to go get a picture. I'm like, okay, I wouldn't have done that, but sure. So she goes over, gets a picture. And as she's taking the picture, I notice, I'm like, Roquan's over there too. So I'm like, I gotta say something to my little Roquan. So I walk over, I'm talking to Tay. Tay and I are joking it up. I don't remember what I said, but we're having a nice laugh. Couldn't even get a good picture with Tay. It was so blurry. We were laughing.
Oh, wow. Jalen Kimber going in the portal. He had a chance to start next year. That's a little surprising.
Kind of harsh the vibe there.
It's my bad.
Well, either way. So then I run up to Roquan. I'm like, Roquan, can I get a picture? He's like, yeah, if we do it walking. So I walk with him like 3 minutes around the stadium talking about the game, get a picture. And I'm like, can you believe we did it? And he's like, it's surreal. It feels like I was a part of it. And I was like, I'll never forget that.
Oh,
did you ask him if he remembered getting beat in dodgeball by your brother and his friend?
I've seen Roquan so many times, but that was the first time I ever secured the picture.
I'm going to say something. We're going to reveal the story. We're going to tell the dodgeball story, which for those who don't know, we'll tell it. We're also going to tell the origin of how the 6-0 podcast got its name, because it kind of goes with the dodgeball story.
It does.
We're going to reveal it on the 10 subscriber special coming soon.
Yes.
The 10 subscriber special. We got big plans. I'll give you guys more deets later. I think we're gonna wait probably until the football season ends, maybe we'll just fill it in. But I don't know.
We'll have to figure it out.
I kind of want to do it as the grand finale.
Yes,
I'm thrilled.
Anyway, let's continue.
So finally, walk out of the stadium, and we got to go through the convention center because Indy. I don't know how people live in that city. It's way too damn cold. They can't do anything. You'd never want to go out and do anything. It's too damn cold. They did have a mall above the city, though. That was pretty sick. But that's the only thing you could do. But we walk in the convention center because we got to walk back to our hotel. And we didn't go to the downtown Indy area because we were thinking, but at this point, it's either closed or way too crowded because we were in the stadium so long. So we were going to go back to our hotel bar, which was like a Georgia hotel. And that bar was open till like 3 a.m. and just drink there. So walking through the convention center, and we kind of finessed into like the VIP walkway because you had to walk outside, but there was a, open door finesse in. And who's walking in front of us? Offensive line coach Matt Luke. And right after a championship.
Coach?
Yes. And I'm like, Coach Luke, let's go Dogs, let's go. And he's like, let's go. So we're talking to him walking by. He's with his son, magical moment. I'm like, national champions, you have to respect it. And I'm like, can we get a picture? And he's like, as long as you're wearing this hat. And I was like, yes, Coach Luke. I was like, it's undefeated this year. And he's like, that hat is great. And I was like, Coach Luke. If Coach Luke knows, it was a magical hat. It's being sent to the College Football Hall of Fame. So I get a picture with Coach Luke, and another part is you could see fans walking outside, and they were all filming Coach Luke and getting pumped, and Coach Luke was like giving them the thumbs up, and I was like, damn, it's cool to see this. They were champions. So then after that, I was up till like 5 a.m. party and never went to the downtown bars, but downtown nothing was open, and it wasn't very crowded downtown because it was way too cold. I don't even know if the bars were open. So there wasn't really wasn't like Athens in the downtown streets of Indy, I'll tell you that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't have too much more to say. And I'm getting a little hungry if I'm being quite honest. It's dinner time here in Atlanta. So,
I agree. But yeah,
It's
it's
a nice-
magical. We won via the hat. We won via the pod. I told Walker.
we won via the
The
Todd.
first year of the pod.
First year of the pod.
We won via the pod and via the Todd. Don't forget.
Yes,
him.
and Todd.
Oh, the Todd too.
Yeah, he got.
I brought Todd, or Corey brought Todd up at halftime wearing his UGA jersey.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
You just
And then
spoiled the
it
beginning
all
of the
came
pod.
together.
but yeah, I do have a question for you.
For me.
So in the next 5 years, how many national championships is UGA gonna have? Because we've been saying before, we said
Including this one?
not including this one. So in the next 5 years,
2.
two. What are you saying?
I'll say we get one more than Clemson because I think our dynasty is a little bit.
I'll say one. I'll be nice and humble here. But I definitely think we're not going anywhere.
No, I think the sleeping giants finally awake. We're showing people we can finally win the big game.
Well,
Finally beat Saban. Finally won the big game. Finally beat Alabama.
Recruiting ramifications too.
championship.
Even though we're already at like we're in the top 3.
Yeah, but what's a
what
negative
can you
for
say
recruiting?
now? Yeah. What can you say against us now? That's the thing.
We've
done the one thing. The only thing you could say is 1980, and now
Right.
all you can say is 20.
And now we can tell Arch Manning we won a championship with Stetson Bennett.
imagine if we had you
Yeah. What's gonna happen? So
Crazy
and
stuff.
Gunner.
I'll sacrifice Gunner for Arch Manning, but that's between you and me and the pod. But
Gunner, come on the pod. Arch Manning, come on the pod.
please come on the pod. But yeah, and I think a sleeping giants awake. I said this earlier, but I think Bama's really going to be really good next year, and
Mhm.
maybe
That's why I
maybe
said you
even
had
the
to
year
get it
after
done.
that.
They were going to be even better next
Yeah,
year.
that's with the
so
chance. That's with the
this was
chance.
the year you had to
We
get
said
it
it
done.
last week. Everything was set up. The
They're going on the
schedule,
revenge tour next year.
Bama
And it's like
being
a
young.
thing that Bama wins every other year, right? So
Yeah. So, but who cares? We got ours. We finally did. We finally got over the hump. Now it's about staying on top of the mountaintop.
right.
Let's go. Keely, amazing play. That was definitely insane. I would love to see like if there was like any chance of like a little earthquake maybe right on that moment in Athens, and just all of Athens had to have just exploded
Yeah.
right when that happened. I wonder if there's a little mini earthquake or something. I don't know, but
Like the beast
Jazz
quick.
Stetson Bennett. We at the 60 podcast, by the way, would like to apologize to you. David like to apologize to you.
Yeah, we at the David Stein, his life, would like to apologize and just remind you of that time I dapped Stetson up last summer, and then he ended up being our national championship quarterback. So I didn't spread COVID, but I did spread championship mentality.
Yeah. So
Very-
I still find it amazing with Stetson after months of just everybody. That was the peak of the Stetson slander. And he has 2 really good games on the biggest stage. So yeah. Any closing remarks from you two?
Go Dogs forever.
David?
Quote from Nick Chubb, who tweeted that right after the game.
You do.
Go Dogs. Quoted by Abraham Lincoln, 1872.
My closing remark is we the champions. Let's go. I'm hyped. I still don't know if it's really hit. I don't know if it's more just a relief or it just hasn't hit yet. But let's go. You know the deal. Subscribe, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, all that kind of stuff.
If you made it this far, comment Georgia Snuggie in the comments.
Yes, comment Georgia.
So we didn't even talk about how David just completely like changed his whole outfit in like 10 seconds earlier, but never mind. All right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go eat dinner. I'm starving.
All right. Peace out, people. Let's go.
Oh.